Hey, Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl champ already. But now the conversation has shifted. It's shifted to the next layer, the next level of greatness. After being named Super Bowl MVP, the question is simple, but the question is powerful. Is Jalen Hurts on a Hall of Fame path? Chase Daniel, I will first say yes. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Last 30 years, think about the quarterbacks, the players in the game of the National Football League that have won Super Bowl MVPs plus an All-Pro. You got Steve Young. You got John Elway, Kurt Warner, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts. You cannot get on a list like this by coincidence. You cannot get on a list like this by luck. You cannot get on a list like this by chance. You can only get on a list like this by talent. Hall of Fame path. Not yet solidified himself as a Hall of Famer, but what this list suggests is very simple. Both for a year, he was one of the best at his position, All-Pro. And in a year, he played the best on the biggest stage in front of 126 million people, the most watched Super Bowl ever. Shout out to Fox. So what this suggests is that Jalen Hurts has been one of the best at his position for a period in time. And on the biggest stage, Jalen Hurts was the best that there is. He is on a path to becoming a Hall of Famer. Is there still more to be done? Absolutely. But when you think about records, Jalen Hurts has set records. Super Bowl rushing record by a quarterback, 72 yards, broke his own record of 70 yards from 2 years ago. When you think about records, Jalen Hurts is setting records. Only Hurts and Montana have played in multiple Super Bowls and had multiple rushing and passing touchdowns. You do not get on lists like this by chance. We're not talking video games. We're talking real life. And as it pertains to the path, Jalen Hurts is walking on it.
That was good, Acho. Can you four-box us and put the graphic up, please, Colvin?
I'm nervous. I am nervous.
So QBs to win the Super Bowl MVP are an All-Pro. Steve Young, John Elway,
check.
Kurt Warner,
check,
Tom
check.
Brady,
A couple times.
Peyton Manning, Mahomes, Rodgers, my guy Drew Brees. And then you got Jalen Hurts highlighted in blue down there.
Of course.
Do you think he belongs on that list? Do you think he fits on that list with those names right there? Be honest, because I like what you were saying. Be honest. Does he fit?
You mean you mean the players on the list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he fit with those names?
So here's a great question.
On the player of the list.
Based upon what criteria? Talent?
The eye test, Acho.
The eye test, the only one I'd put him on the list with is Kurt Warner. I'd say you can go to war with Kurt.
There's a difference between Hall of Fame stats. You're good. You can take that off. There's a difference between Hall of Fame stats and Hall of Fame talent. And you're thinking that I'm not even going to respond to that. That's a different conversation. But stats versus talent, right now, there's just no stretch of imagination that he has the Hall of Fame talent. He's a winner, sure. But at what point, and I hate doing this. I hate when
you do it.
Because it's the day after the day after. I like that. I used it from I stole it. Of the Super Bowl. And I just got to bring people down to reality a little bit. Like, at what time and at what point in his career do we have to say that, man, he was carried by a really great team? And he had those stats, and you can't take away the All-Pro season. But in my opinion, winning Super Bowl MVP, I love it. I'm not trying to take it away from him, but it's not necessarily legacy defined. There's a lot of Super Bowl MVPs that aren't in the Hall of Fame.
Of course.
And because you played one really good game, biggest game of your career.
Yes, sir.
Right? But, like, that's not legacy defined for me. You can't take away a second-team All-Pro. It's just way too early to say that. Like, the dude's 26, 27. To say Hall of Fame path, and I'm trying to say this respectfully, it's a really great start to the career. But you look at, like, Eli Manning. He was not a first-ballot Hall of Famer. And quite honestly, it wasn't even really close for him getting in. 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 4 Pro Bowls. I know he didn't have the All-Pro. I get that. I get that. I'm with you on that. But just to say that he, like, I'm trying to be respectful, because I like what Jalen Hurts did this year. I thought it was an excellent year. But we just have to keep in contrast what is happening with him, and, like, at some points he's been carried.
Here's where I think Chase Daniel is blind. He cannot see this thing.
I got 2015 vision, dog. I ain't blind. I'll tell you that much.
Here's where I think you're blind, Chase.
You can see far like this.
X-ray, dog.
You keep looking at quarterbacks like most of us do in an archaic sense.
No, I don't. No,
You do.
stop that.
You do.
Stop.
Because,
no, you keep saying that. Patrick Mahomes ain't archaic, dog.
Because the archaic...
Look at his look at his last 2 years for Patrick Mahomes. The numbers weren't great. The dude finds a way to win. Now, I know he had a bad game, but he's been to 5 Super Bowls in 7 years. He's not archaic.
But what you're suggesting is you should get into the Hall Hurts. He doesn't match those people talent-wise.
Acho.
But what is talent? Because he set a Super Bowl record.
He might be Hall of Fame with his mind and his heart. He ain't Hall of Fame out there throwing a ball, dog. You can't tell me that.
But playing quarterback is more than just throwing the ball. Tom Brady has the passing record in the Super Bowl over 500 yards. Jalen Hurts has the rushing record in the Super Bowl twice, over 70 yards twice. But we look at Jalen Hurts' rushing record in the Super Bowl and we spit at it. It pales in comparison. But a record in the Super Bowl is a record in the Super Bowl. But because we have the archaic mindset that quarterbacks can only pass, not you singly, but because we carry that mindset, we overlook Jalen Hurts' records. I am suggesting it does look different, Shady. James, it does look different. But just because it looks different don't mean it doesn't look just as good.
And with all due respect to Jalen Hurts, because he just came off of playing a heck of a football game. And they won the Super Bowl and he won MVP. Let's please stop putting them other dudes' names.
That graphic needs to be torn up digitally and thrown away.
He did that, James. This isn't my opinion, Shady.
But I'm just saying respectfully, Acho, you played the game of football.
No.
I'm being serious. You played the game of football and you watched the football games. And I'm going to leave it there. So respectfully, let's leave the Toms and the Rodgers.
What's that mean, James?
Let's leave the Toms and the Rodgers and all that out there because he does not play the quarterback position the way they play it.
But it doesn't mean...
Stop at a very, very high level, leading their team, which means that if they go, the team goes. All right, so let's stop.
You don't think he did that? Super Bowl
let's stop doing that because the team win as Saquon Barkley and this O-line win.
James, Saquon Barkley had 57 yards on 25 carries.
What about the whole season?
Put up 40 points, James.
What about the whole season?
Acho, did you just hear what I said? I said Saquon Barkley and this defense. That's why I said 2, all right? Because it wasn't a lot of points being out there. But respectfully, we all watch the quarterback position, and we know that Jalen Hurts is not on the levels as those guys at the quarterback spot. But the key word is path. That's the key word. We're not asking, is it a Hall of Fame career right now? Is he a Hall of Fame talent and all that? The key word in this whole question, right, that you be putting in, all right, is path, all right? And when you listen to the question, path, yes, he is on the path. You have an all-pro. You are a Super Bowl champion.
Yes.
You have a Super Bowl MVP.
Yes.
You've been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yes.
All right? You are on a Hall of Fame path. But when I sit up here and I look at all these quarterbacks that you have up there, I can't confidently say he's a Hall of Famer, but he's 26 years old. He's an extremely young player with a lot of football left ahead of him to play. So when you say path, is he on that path? Absolutely. He's accomplished a lot in his 5-6 years playing in the National Football League. So Hall of Fame path, yes. I don't know what the future holds for Jalen Hurts. He can get back to another Super Bowl next year. They got a really good team. He can win MVP again next year. In 2 Super Bowls, he played his best football. Yeah. So he can win another MVP. So he is on a Hall of Fame path, but we all watch the games. And I think that's what we cannot forget up here when you watch the game of football and you watch those other dudes play the quarterback position and you watch Jalen Hurts play the quarterback position. Now, I know we got another Jalen Hurts block, you know, so I'm going to save a lot of my ammo for that block. You know what I'm saying? But with all due respect to Jalen Hurts balling out and dominating the best player in the world, really in the last 2 Super Bowls, he outplayed Patty.
He did.
Give him his respect.
And that's my point. We all watch the game. That is true. But, Shady, we all watch the game differently. We watch the game from the subjective lens of our eyes. But what is objective is winning. What is objective is the fact that Jalen Hurts was named All-Pro. It does not matter if James Jones feels like he should have been or shouldn't have. Chase feels like he should have or shouldn't. Emmanuel Acho feels like he should have or shouldn't. He was. That happened. That's not subjective. Jalen Hurts was Super Bowl MVP. That happened. That's not subjective. So we can subjectively assess what is and what isn't talent. People tell me all the time, Justin Herbert's one of the most talented quarterbacks they've ever seen. What does that matter? What matters is results. Jalen Hurts, to me, Shady McCoy, he gets results. That is why he is obviously objectively on a Hall of Fame path.
Well, I think he's on a Hall of Fame path as well. I mean, only starting for 4 years.
Hey, y'all laughing.
No,
I mean, he's made the playoffs every season. Right? He's an All-Pro and he's a Pro Bowler 2 times out of them years. And then he goes to in 4 years, going to 2 Super Bowls, like that's a big accomplishment. And this is just the beginning. You know, it's like, I look at Patrick Mahomes, and it's obviously way different, but his road to success into Hall of Fame, right? Now, the difference is now he has more stats, right? More touchdowns, more passes. But if you just look at this, the way they've been going as far as...
You smiling over here, dog.
Just
you smiling at me.
Don't do the Mahomes
I can't
and Hurts. Do not do the Mahomes.
Okay, go ahead, dog.
Motivation. No shot.
If you...
Dog, I can't take you serious today.
It's so funny.
No, I'm saying, he's saying that I can't. He said, oh my.
Seriously for a second.
Oh, yeah.
All I'm saying is, if obviously I'm not comparing Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. They're not even close. Seriously, they're not. But what I'm saying, if you look at their careers, though, if you take out the stats part of the passing yards, the touchdowns, the MVPs and all that, I mean, in Jalen Hurts' first 4 seasons, right, as a starter, 2 of them games was in the Super Bowl. That is not something you can just make up. You know what I mean? The same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Since he's been a starter, AFC Championship game, Super Bowl. So all I'm saying, like, the path, I think he's on the Hall of Fame journey so far. He's only 26 years old.
He's had 1 good season in 2022, and he had 2 good games. So 1 good season and 2 good games.
1 elite season. Elite season. He was an all-pro.
He was second-team All-Pro. That's not elite. Elite's first team, big dog. That's how I view it. 100%. And when you look, I agree. I agree. It was good.
It was elite.
Wait, listen.
Second team, wait, hold on, real quick, because now this second team All-Pro
First
is not elite.
That's almost elite. Someone beat you out. Who beat you out?
Bro.
Mahomes that year?
Out of 32 quarterbacks, it's only 2 of them got picked.
I'm just saying.
See, now this is the problem I have with Chase. You gonna stand there and say that when we talk about Sam Darnold, you act like
I don't think he's elite. I don't think he's elite.
So second team All-Pro is not elite?
I got Shady going now. I like
That's
it.
elite that year.
Welcome, Shady.
That's elite.
Talking about.
Listen, but the 2 games this year, right? Like, his 2 best games were in the 2 biggest stages of the NFL's.
Correct.
This NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. So I don't think you can put 1 elite season, there you go, and 2 games and say the dude's on a Hall of Fame path. Like, to me, like we're acting like this dude's the second coming out.
I think the key word is path.
I got you.
No, for real though, because I think you're coming from the standpoint like you're just listening to Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Yes.
Like you got to listen to path. And when you look at what Jalen Hurts has accomplished on the path in 5-6 years,
That's what I'm getting at.
You have to say yes, because we don't know what's happening. Another All-Pro and a Super Bowl could be happening.
Yeah.
If you have 2 All-Pros and 2 Super Bowls MVPs, you are walking into the Hall of Fame, whether we like it or not. That's what we're saying about Eli. I don't think Eli Manning is a Hall of Fame talent. But he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice, and he has 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's never was elite at his position in his career. He don't have no All-Pros. I mean, he never was elite. He never was top 5-ish, top 10-ish in the regular season in his career, in my humble opinion. It was never his time like I'm the guy. So when we just say path, you got to say path. But I am hearing you. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but you just got to eliminate the Hall of Fame and listen to Acho put that path in there.
First of all,
and that's what he's on.
Acho's graphic got me. Okay, but let's just, before we move on, let's just remember, in the history of the game, there's only 26 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. Just, like, it is very, very elite company. So, path, sure, maybe with what James is saying. But let's just remember, like, 26 quarterbacks in the history of the game are in the Hall of Fame. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, how many Super Bowl MVP quarterbacks are there? Jalen Hurts is an elite company. How many quarterbacks in the history of the game of football have a Super Bowl rushing record? Jalen Hurts is an elite company. What I'm suggesting is we all play the game, so we know doing things in the game is difficult. It's not like this is made up. This is not some majestic sci-fi statistics that Jalen Hurts is doing. If you're talking about what they've done on the field, Jalen Hurts has done everything there is.
You're thinking too much with your head, looking at stats, dog. Think about more with your heart.
Now I want to ask you real quick. I was arguing with some of my friends, right, that play this game at a high level. Do you count tush as touchdown?
Tush.
Not significantly.
No, I'm saying because, like...
Not as it pertains to tape, no, not significantly.
Okay, because I was arguing because, like, that's a play, right? And I think the last time they played, he had 3 of them. Tushes? Yeah.
He has had a ton.
Or 2.
Over
and I'll tell them, like, yo, like that counts, though. Because, like, last night or Sunday when they stomped on and put the belts out on the Chiefs, I mean, he had a passing touchdown. He had 2 of them or 1 of them?
2 passes.
And then he had a push.
Push.
Like, that's 3 touchdowns.
Correct.
They don't count the push tush?
I think it's twofold.
Oh, they count on this stat
count on the
sheet.
stat
But
sheet.
I'm saying, so do you guys count the push tush?
I mean, I don't count it with my eyeballs.
No.
I don't say like, "Ooh, that was special."
I'm
It's a
saying,
touchdown.
So we have 2 passing touchdowns. He has 2.
But I'm just saying,
Two-
that's why I said Hall of Fame path. When they say rushing touchdowns, all them tush pushes is in there, whether you like it or not.
And that's
Correct.
what
You
I'm
can't
saying.
take it away
you
from
cannot
them.
take that
It's
away.
a football play,
That's it.
and that counts.
Yeah.
Right.
That counts.
But I just know if LeSean McCoy rushed for 22 touchdowns in a year, and I'm watching Shady with my own 2 eyes, and Jalen Hurts goes out there and he has 23, and he breaks your record, or if it was something like that, and I see 15 tush pushes, I'm not watching that saying, man, he had a better rushing touchdown season than Shady McCoy. I'm not. You'd be crazy.
You
to
might
say
think
that.
about it different, too, if it gets banned, because it might get banned.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.